everyone and welcome to number 27. Today I'm with Metin and we're going out in his GT3 and later I'm going to have a go as well. Yeah, so tell me, so this is a 996 GT3 Series 1, yeah?
Yeah, Mark 1 GT3. This is a comfort spec car.
Okay.
I don't love this car yet. I love my 964 because I come from an air-cooled background, PWs and whatnot. So I do like a 996. I've had a couple of C4Ss as well. This to me feels more like the air-cooled era. It feels a little bit more edgy. I suppose it's like a little terrier.
Right,
Jack Russell always nipping away or going, go faster.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all you've got?
I remember the days when all fast 911s were known as RSs, so when the GT3 nameplate was introduced in 1999 with the 996, I was a little bit confused. The sound deadening was almost completely removed, as were the rear seats, loudspeakers, sunroof and aircon. Now the engine is the star here, based on the Porsche 962 and 911 GT1 race cars. The GT3 has 360 horsepower instead of the 300 horsepower that the normal 996s had. Other changes were enlarged brakes. It was lowered with a retuned suspension system, had lightweight wheels and new front and rear bumpers to help increase downforce. Okay, my turn to give you some impressions on the GT3. Wow, just a hint there of the tail breaking away coming out of the corner, but it felt really progressive, totally controllable. So that was just, I think that was a second gear corner coming out. So this is fun. It won't surprise you to hear that it just feels like a 996 but sharper in every way. They are really, really good cars, 996s, and for a long time they were pretty much banished. People didn't appreciate them, but that's changing now. I tell you what, it feels really, really playful, quite friendly. It's not an intimidating car to drive. I tell you, everyone really seems to rave about the engines in these. They're legendary, the Metzger units. To me, that's probably the most underwhelming bit of the whole car. It's great. And there's plenty of, you have to rev it, but there's plenty of power there. But I find it a little bit, I don't know, I find it a little bit characterless in a way. Absolutely, the pedals are perfectly placed for heel and towing. It's a joy. I'll tell you what it is about the GT3 that's so special. It makes you feel like a good driver. I'm an average driver at best, but everything's so good. You know, you can heel and tow really easily. It's really chuckable. It just makes you feel, makes you feel like a great driver. I know I was thinking about getting a 4C or an Exige, but God, one of these would be a pretty special animal to have. I've been driving the 964 more now, and I've swung a little bit back towards it. Whether I keep it or not, I think all depends on the next test I'm doing with a 964, which is going to be my modified C4 versus a friend's modified C2 versus Frank's standard RS. And that way I'm going to get a feel for the C2 and see if it's really going to cover the aspects that I don't like about my C4. I don't know what to do. Everything's awesome. The Exige was unbelievable. This is unexpectedly incredible. I like the 964 again. I love the Esprit. You know what? Out of all of them right now, I have to be honest with you, the Lancia is the car that has underwhelmed me most out of my 12 cars thing. It is really good, but I don't know if it's good enough. That Metzger unit, although not quite as characterful as I was expecting, but so pin sharp, really pulls at the top end, above 4,500, it really goes. But what completely distinguishes this car from anything I've driven before, 996 wise or anything else, is just how playful it is. It's unbelievable. It's begging to be chucked about. Literally, it just wants to be thrown about. It's the polar opposite to my Esprit. It's just incredible. It's so playful. And everything about it is good. The pedals are perfectly placed for heel and towing. Feedback from front and rear is just brilliant. You can just sort of get it on the limit of grip at the rear and then just fire it out of the corners. This is just something else. It's so good. I was expecting it to be good. I was not expecting it to be this good. Oh, this is just incredible. It feels like you're sort of dancing with it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's the only way I can describe it. You're sort of dancing with it. Oh, God. Like, it doesn't feel like a rear engine 911 in some ways. You're much less aware that the engine is right at the back of the car than you are in the older 911s, the air-cooleds and so on. It feels much more neutral, but if you chuck it in a corner too quickly, then the front does push a little bit. So in that way, it sort of brings you back to the old 911 handling characteristics, but it's so much better. It's just crying out for you to wring its neck. I know I've been really lucky. I've driven a few cars recently that have all been really good. That Exige is a mega machine and would totally monster this on track and on some roads. But to get in a car like this, straight away, drive it as quickly as I've been driving it, it's a special car. I think if there is one thing that I would criticise, it's the brakes. They don't feel strong enough. It's also because it's deceptively fast. It really builds up speed and you don't realise until you get there and you come up to brake quite how quickly it's going. It's because the engine's very smooth, the Metzger unit. But it really comes alive at 4.5 revs, 4,500 revs. And also, it gets that metallic rasp. And then you sort of understand what all the fuss about the Metzger units was about. Still not my favourite engine, but yeah, no, cool. For me, what is really special about this is just the chassis. It's unbelievably good. Grips tenaciously. The fact you can feel what it's doing like this, it's just eggs you on the whole time, you know, push me a bit more, you know what I'm doing. You know where my limits are, just get me close to my limits. This is an incredible car. If I can give you all some advice, it is go and find a 996 GT3 and buy it immediately. So one last thing is that Metin has this and he has a 964 as well, and earlier we were talking about it and he's unsure which one to sell. Obviously, dynamically, this is a far superior machine, but the 964 is an air-cooled 911. It's got that old shape, that old charm. Now that I've driven it though, I'll tell you straight away, Metin, as far as I'm concerned, sell the 964 any day. This is completely in a different league. This is unbelievable. What do you guys think? Do you think you should keep this or the 964? As always, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're going to be doing that C2 modified C2 versus my modified C4 versus an RS 964 test soon, and loads of other great stuff. So please keep watching.